After an intense 2-day 11 round preliminary in the Paris Freestyle Chess Masters, we have our quarterfinalists. Out of the 4 Indian players who had gone to the Paris Freestyle Chess Masters, only one has qualified. And on a pulsating last day, which went down to the 11th and final round, Arjun Erigaisi, the Gandhivam, has managed to ensure that he's the only Indian to have qualified for the quarterfinals of the Paris Chess Masters. Apart from that, the bottom 3, number 9, number 10, number 11, number 12, are unfortunately Gukesh, Praggnanandhaa, and Vidit Gujrathi. Now, this is a very disappointing tournament when you have to look at it, because 4 Indians, you had expected at least 2, maybe 3 to have qualified for the quarterfinals, but unfortunately it was not meant to be. Only Arjun Erigaisi has managed to qualify. And if I can tell you, how did day 2 proceed? Day 2, when you look at it, in round 7, Vidit lost to Rapport. Then Gukesh beat Praggnanandhaa, Arjun beat Nadirbek Abdulsattarov. If you look at the start of the day, Gukesh was very much in with a chance to becoming the second Indian to qualify, because in round 8, Gukesh beat Vincent Keimer. Then Pragg drew with Nakamura and Arjun drew with Rapport, and Nepomniachtchi beat Vidit. But then things started to go horribly wrong for Gukesh. Round 9, Nepomniachtchi beat Arjun Erigaisi, then Nadirbek beat Gukesh, and Caruana beat Pragg. Round 9 onwards, the Indians had a torrid time in the Paris Freestyle Masters. Then looking at number 10, you had Vincent Keimer beating Praggnanandhaa, Arjun drew with Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, and Rapport beat Gukesh. Then Vidit beat Caruana. And in the last round, Nepomniachtchi absolutely crushed Gukesh. Arjun beat Vidit. And that to remember, it was from a drawing position. But Vidit, he was almost down against Vidit Gujrathi. But Arjun ensured that he turned it around and he beat him. Praggnanandhaa beat Nadirbek, but unfortunately, Praggnanandhaa could end up with only 4, just half a point behind Fabiano Caruana. Vincent Keimer beat Fabiano Caruana, and that is why he managed to secure his spot in the top 8. Now, if you look at the last list, who all have made it, Magnus Carlsen and Jan Nepomniachtchi have managed to win this particular segment. So that is why they are in the top 2. Then Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, Arjun Erigaisi is in 4th. So among all the Indians, he's the only one who's done brilliantly amongst them. Nadirbek Abdulsattarov, Hikaru Nakamura, Vincent Keimer, and somehow, just by the barest of margins, Fabiano Caruana has managed to get it. If Gukesh had beaten Nepomniachtchi, then it would have forced a tiebreak between Gukesh and Fabiano Caruana for the 8th spot. Remember, if you're tied on points, the tiebreaker system doesn't come into the tiebreaker score. You have to play the tiebreakers then. But unfortunately, it didn't come to that stage. Unfortunately, Gukesh lost in a big way to Nepomniachtchi, and that is why out of the 4 Indians, only one has managed to qualify. 3 have been eliminated. The 3 who have been eliminated are Gukesh, Praggnanandhaa, and Vidit Gujrathi. It was a tough initiation for Vidit Gujrathi because he only won 2 games. But if you look at it, it was bittersweet for Gukesh, because Gukesh did not win anything in Weissenhaus. He drew or he lost. Here he managed to win 3 games, but unfortunately he managed to ensure that he did not win more than that. He had his chances, but unfortunately he could not convert it. And that is why Gukesh lost. Praggnanandhaa looked good. As I had mentioned on day 1, it was up and down, up and down, up and down, with 3 wins, 3 losses. But unfortunately, on the last day, he just couldn't make it. If you have to look at it, Praggnanandhaa had the worst day possible, because he lost to Gukesh first. Then he unfortunately drew with Nakamura. Then he lost to Caruana. Then in the last round, he lost to Vincent Keimer. And he only beat Nadirbek Abdulsattarov. So that is why it was a terrible last day for Praggnanandhaa, and he will be wondering what went wrong. So yes, tough 2025 has begun for Gukesh and Praggnanandhaa, because remember, Praggnanandhaa managed to win the Tata Steel Chess Tournament in Vaikanse, but unfortunately Gukesh managed to lose it. Ever since then, Wesenhaus was tough. He didn't make it at all. Gukesh now has lost even in the Paris Freestyle Chess Masters. He's not going to go into the quarterfinals. This is a big, big blow. And unfortunately, India, when you look at it, Vidit, yes, he had taken a break for 3 months. He had his marriage. He came to Paris for stuff. But freestyle chess isn't for anybody. And Magnus Carlsen, I mean, he's the only guy who can draw water from stone nowadays, because Carlsen beat any format. He just manages to dominate. I mean, if ever I get the chance to interview Magnus Carlsen, I will ask him, how do you get that brain of yours? Because in every format, blitz, rapid, classical, freestyle, he is simply supreme. The end game maestro that he is, it was simply too good in that sense. Tushar Maskara, I'll take a couple of comments. Tushar Maskara, Arjun for now looks the only guy who can play freestyle, as a guy sometimes play classical like freestyle. Would love to see how he does in classical freestyle, as it's his first major freestyle event. You know, Tushar, looking at it, the way how he did Freestyle Fridays, you remember, he won a hat-trick of Freestyle Fridays. That actually put him in a good place to ensure that he competed in a big way in Paris. He was the only one who looked comfortable in that. Now, tomorrow I'll be doing a video as to how the positions are determined. Because you remember, after every round, there is a 10-15 minute break. You want to know how the openings are determined? I'll be doing a special video on that as well. And Manu, I'm not taking that comment. It will be an IPL stream. Rakshit is saying, hi Rakshit, Vidit had the toughest event. Oh boy, tell me about it. I mean, for one, he just had one win in 9 rounds. Just one win. And because there was an agreement that there would be no short draws, and because draws were just absolutely chucked out of the window, Vidit had a torrid time, Rakshit. And it was painful to watch. And yes, he was in a winning position in certain games, but then he blundered. And yeah, I really do feel sad for Vidit. And that's why, how does Vidit always do those last second blunders? Beats me. I mean, he did it even in the candidates. And that's why I'm wondering, what is with Vidit and last moment blunders? And that's why, tough to watch. Very tough to watch for Vidit. I feel very bad for him. And then, yes, feel bad for Gukesh also. He had his moments. Yesterday, he won more than he had won in Wesenhaus. So, tough day. And Praggnanandhaa also lost out in tough moments. But yes, only one Indian in the fray, and that is Arjun Erigaisi. Tomorrow and day after, you're going to have the quarterfinals. And you'll get to choose the opponent today in the dinner that they're going to have. The players are going to have the dinner. Jan-Henrik Beutner, the CEO of Freestyle, he announced that yes, we will be setting up the draws and the players will get to decide who plays whom. So that is going to be very, very interesting. And tomorrow it won't be rapid, it will be classical freestyle, where you'll have 90 minutes of time and then you'll have a 30-minute increment after that. So that is going to be very, very interesting. Who chooses which opponent? That we will come to know tonight in the dinner that they will be doing after these rounds are over. So yes, Rakshit, nice to see Freestyle just trying to make the format interesting, the option to choose the opponent. Rakshit, I was blown away by the way how you remember that there are 960 small balls that come into that bowl, and then you suddenly pick one random number, and that is that opening number. I was blown away with that, what happened in Paris. So yes, it is a great, great innovation. I think freestyle chess, we'll have to thank Jan-Henrik Beutner, Magnus Carlsen, and all of them. It is really good. So yeah, that is insane. Tomorrow there'll be a video on Sports Today as to how that is chosen. So do tune into Sports Today for all of that. And Rakshit, your work is only going to increase now, because all eyes will be on Arjun Erigaisi. For all our family members here, Rakshit is a regular chess watcher. He's a regular chess player. He also contributes technologically in the evaluation bars as well, Rakshit. So do check out his comments on all the other chess platforms that he does. Take a look at it. You will learn a thing or two listening to Rakshit's comments that are there. So yes, thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this update. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis. And Rahul Dravid, Gukesh is going in the path of Ding after becoming champion. No, totally disagree, Rahul. Totally disagree. That is classical chess. Totally different. This is freestyle. Totally different. What happens in freestyle cannot be gauged to what will happen in classical chess. You're mixing up formats. So that is the thing. Understand one thing, Vinod. Yes, you can struggle in freestyle, but You have to understand it's a different. It's like you are going at a T20I, but you're criticizing a test match. That is the way you're looking at. Norway chess would be an event to prove himself. Gukesh, yes, absolutely, it will be an event to prove himself. So yes, Arjun is on fire, and we hope that he can go the distance in Paris Freestyle Chess Masters. Thank you so much, folks. Yet again, subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis.